When my partner finally confessed what had been happening behind my back, I said nothing and let her finish. That silence felt safe at first, until the consequences began unfolding quietly in ways she was completely unprepared for. "I need to tell you something, and I need you to just listen until I'm done." Those were the words that shattered everything I thought I knew about my relationship. I didn't respond. I just sat there on our couch, coffee mug halfway to my lips, watching her hands shake as she stood in the doorway. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. I'm 32. We'd been together for 6 years, living together for 3. That Tuesday evening started like any other, until it didn't. She walked into the living room and stood there for what felt like minutes. Her face was pale, eyes red-rimmed like she'd been crying in the bathroom. "Can you put that down?" she said, gesturing to my mug. I set it on the coffee table. The ceramic made a soft click against the wood. She sat down on the armchair across from me, not beside me. That should have been my first real clue. "I've been lying to you," she said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "For months." I felt my stomach drop, but I kept my face neutral. I didn't ask what about. I didn't demand details. I just waited. "Remember when I started those evening yoga classes back in March?" I nodded. She'd been going 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Always came home around 9:30, sometimes 10. "I wasn't going to yoga," she said. Her eyes dropped to her lap. "I was meeting someone." The room felt smaller suddenly, like the walls had moved in a few inches while I wasn't looking. "His name is Chris. He works at the marketing firm 2 floors below my office." She was crying now, tears running down her cheeks. But she kept going. "It started as just coffee, then lunches, then drinks after work." I still didn't speak. Something in my chest had gone cold and hard, like water freezing from the inside out. We kissed for the first time in April, in his car. I told myself it was just once, that it didn't mean anything. She looked up at me then, searching my face for something. Anger maybe, or hurt, but I'd gone somewhere else in my head, somewhere quiet and distant. It happened again, and again. By May, we were sleeping together. The grandfather clock in the hallway ticked. That's all I could hear. Tick, tick, tick. "I told him last week that it had to end," she continued. "That I couldn't do this to you anymore. That I loved you, and I'd made a terrible mistake." She reached for a tissue from the box on the side table. "He didn't take it well. He said he was going to tell you himself if I didn't. So here I am, telling you, because you deserve to hear it from me." She looked at me with those big brown eyes that used to make me melt. Now they just looked like eyes. "Say something, please." I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the street where a couple was walking their dog. Normal life continuing while mine split into before and after. "Are you going to say anything?" she asked again. Her voice had a desperate edge now. I turned around. "I heard you," I said. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Flat. Empty. "That's it? That's all you're going to say?" I shrugged. "What do you want me to say?" She stood up now too, wringing her hands. "I want you to yell at me. Tell me I'm horrible. Tell me how much I hurt you. Something. I need to think," I said. "I'm going to bed." I walked past her toward the bedroom. She grabbed my arm. "We need to talk about this. We need to figure out what happens now." I looked down at her hand on my arm, then at her face. "Not tonight," I said. I pulled my arm free gently and kept walking. I didn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling while she stayed in the living room. I could hear her crying, then quiet, then the soft sounds of her moving around. My mind was working through things methodically, like I was solving a puzzle. 6 years together. 3 years living together. Her mother's cancer diagnosis last year that we'd gotten through. The trip to Portugal we'd planned for next summer. The conversation we'd had about marriage just 2 months ago. All of it built on a foundation that apparently had cracks I'd never seen. Around 3 in the morning, I heard the bedroom door open. She slipped into bed beside me. "I'm so sorry," she whispered into the darkness. I didn't respond. She moved closer, her hand reaching for me. I shifted away. "Please," she said. "Please don't shut me out." But that's exactly what I was doing. Shutting down. Closing off. Building walls. The next morning, I got up at 6 like always. Made coffee. Got dressed for work. She came into the kitchen while I was putting on my jacket. "You're going to work?" she asked. She looked terrible, eyes swollen, hair a mess. "I have meetings," I said. "But we need to talk. We need to work through this." I picked up my laptop bag. "There's nothing to work through right now." "What does that mean?" I looked at her properly for the first time since her confession. Really looked at her. "It means I need space to process this. I'll be staying at a hotel for a few days. Her face crumpled. No, no, you can't just leave. We have to deal with this together. You dealt with Chris without me, I said. I'm dealing with this without you. I walked out, got in my car, drove to work like it was any other day, sat through meetings, responded to emails, ate lunch at my desk. My colleague Dana asked if I was okay. Fine, I said. Just tired. She didn't look convinced, but didn't push. After work, I checked into a hotel downtown. Nothing fancy, just a place to sleep. My phone was exploding with messages. Texts from her, missed calls, voicemails I didn't listen to. I turned it off and sat on the hotel bed in the silence. This is where most people would feel something, I thought. Rage, betrayal, heartbreak. But I just felt empty, like someone had scooped out my insides and left nothing but a shell. I stayed at the hotel for 3 days, went to work, ate meals, existed. On the 4th day, I went back to our apartment to get more clothes. She was there, of course. You're back, she said. Hope lit up her face. Just getting things, I said. The hope died. How long are you going to do this? How long are you going to punish me? I pulled a suitcase from the closet. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. By running away? I started packing clothes. Methodically, folding each item. You want to talk? I said, not looking at her. Fine. Let's talk. She sat on the bed. I want to work through this. I want us to go to counseling. I made a mistake, a huge mistake, but I love you. I choose you. I zipped up the suitcase. You chose Chris for 5 months, I said. Every time you lied about yoga. Every time you came home and kissed me after being with him. Every time we had sex and you'd been with him the same day. Those were all choices. She flinched like I'd hit her. I know what I did. But people make mistakes. People cheat and work through it. We can do that. I sat down on the chair by the window. Tell me about him, I said. What? Chris. Tell me about him. What's he like? She looked confused. Why would you want to know that? Because I want to understand what was worth throwing away 6 years. Her face went pale. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about choosing him over you. Then what was it about? She started crying again. I don't know. He paid attention to me. He made me feel exciting. Like I was someone new and interesting, not just comfortable. Comfortable, I repeated. That's what I am to you. Comfortable. That's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. I stood up, grabbed my suitcase. Where are you going? She asked. Back to the hotel. For how long? I stopped at the door. I don't know. Are we over? Her voice broke on the last word. I don't know that either. 2 weeks passed. I stayed at the hotel, went to work, lived in a strange limbo where nothing felt real. She kept texting. I'd respond occasionally with single words. Okay, fine. Later, my best friend Nathan called. Dude, what's going on? Rachel's been calling me worried sick. Rachel was her best friend. We're taking some time apart, I said. She said you just disappeared, that you won't talk to her. I'm talking to her. Are you though? I didn't answer. Look, I don't know what happened and you don't have to tell me. But whatever it is, you can't just shut down. That's not healthy. I'm fine, I said. You're not fine. Nobody's fine when they're living in a hotel for 2 weeks. He was right, of course. But I didn't know what else to do. Every time I thought about going back, about trying to work through it, I'd remember her words. Comfortable. Not passionate. Not exciting. Comfortable. Like a pair of old shoes. 3 weeks in, she showed up at my office. The receptionist called up, said someone was here to see me. I went down. She was in the lobby, looking thinner than I remembered. We need to talk, she said. Not here. Then where? You won't come home. You barely respond to messages. I'm losing my mind. There was a coffee shop across the street. We sat in the back corner. I can't do this anymore, she said. This limbo. This silence. You're torturing me. I'm not trying to torture you. Then what are you trying to do? I looked at my coffee, watched the steam rise and dissipate. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything left to save, I said. Of course there is. We have 6 years together. We have history. We have love. Do we? She reached across the table for my hand. I let her take it, but didn't squeeze back. I love you, she said. I know I hurt you terribly. I know I broke your trust. But I love you and I want to fix this. How? I asked. How do you fix this? How do I ever trust you again? How do I ever look at you without wondering if you're lying? Time. Counseling. Transparency. I'll do whatever it takes. I pulled my hand back. Do you know what the worst part is? I said. She shook her head. It's not that you cheated. It's not even that you lied for months. Then what? It's that you call me comfortable. Like what we had was boring. Like I wasn't enough. Her face crumbled. That's not what I meant. You were enough. You are enough. I was the problem, not you. But that's how you felt. That's what drove you to him. She was sobbing now. People were starting to stare. I was an idiot. I took you for granted. I went looking for some stupid thrill, and I destroyed the best thing in my life. I stood up. I need more time, I said. How much more time? I don't know. Can I ask you something? She said. Are you punishing me? Is that what this is? Because if you've already decided it's over, just tell me. Don't drag this out. I looked at her sitting there, mascara running down her face. Once upon a time, I would have done anything to stop her crying. Now I just felt tired. I don't know what I'm doing, I said honestly. I don't know what I want. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I want to. I left her there, went back to work, sat at my desk, and stared at my computer screen without seeing it. That night, my phone rang. Her mother. Hello, sweetie, she said. I'd always liked her mother. She was warm, funny, the kind of person who made you feel welcome instantly. Hi, Margaret. I heard what happened. I didn't respond. I want you to know that what she did was wrong. Deeply wrong. And I told her as much. Okay. But I also want you to know that she's a mess. She loves you. She made a terrible mistake, but she loves you. That's what everyone keeps telling me. There was a pause. You don't believe it? I thought about that. Did I believe she loved me? I think she loves the idea of me, I said. The stability I provide. The life we built. But I don't think she's in love with me. Not in the way that matters. And what way is that? The way that keeps you faithful. The way that makes you choose your partner over temptation. That way. Margaret was quiet for a moment. That's fair, she said finally. That's very fair. For weeks in, I realized I'd made a decision. I hadn't consciously decided. It had just become clear, like fog lifting. I couldn't go back. Not to her. Not to what we had. Not to being comfortable. I went to the apartment on a Saturday. She wasn't there, which was good. I started packing my things properly. Books, clothes, toiletries, the framed photo of us at the Grand Canyon. I left that one. She came home while I was loading boxes into my car. What are you doing? I didn't stop working. Moving out. No, you can't. We haven't even tried counseling yet. We haven't given this a real chance. I put the last box in the trunk. I can't do it, I said. Can't or won't. Both. She grabbed my arm, tears streaming down her face. Please don't give up on us. I know I messed up, but we can fix this. I know we can. I gently removed her hand. You didn't mess up. You made choices. Every single day for 5 months, you made choices. You chose to betray me. You chose to lie. You chose him. I chose wrong. I know that now. Yeah, I said. You did. I got in my car. She was standing in the driveway crying. Where are you going? I found an apartment. I'm moving in tomorrow. So that's it. 6 years and you're just done. I looked at her through the car window. You were done when you slept with Chris the first time. You were done every time you lied. You just didn't have the courage to end it. So I'm doing it for both of us. I don't accept this, she said. I don't accept that we're over. You don't have to accept it. It's still happening. I drove away. In the rearview mirror, I could see her standing there in the driveway, getting smaller, gone. The next few weeks were strange. I moved into my new apartment. 1 bedroom, decent neighborhood, close to work. Started rebuilding a life that was just mine. She kept trying to reach out. Texts begging for another chance. Emails with long explanations. Calls I didn't answer. Nathan came over one night with pizza and beer. How are you holding up? He asked. I'm okay, I said. Really? I thought about it. Yeah, actually. I am. He looked surprised. I thought you'd be a wreck. I thought I would be too. We ate pizza in silence for a bit. Can I ask you something? Nathan said. Sure. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? I considered the question. Maybe. Eventually. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. That's very mature of you. I don't feel mature. I feel like I'm just going through the motions. That's how healing starts sometimes. The motions. Then one day the motions become real. 2 months after her confession, she texted asking if we could meet. One last time. To get closure. I agreed. Same coffee shop. Same back corner table. She looked better than last time. Hair done. Makeup on. Wearing the blue dress I used to love. Thanks for meeting me, she said. Sure. I wanted to apologize properly. And to tell you that I understand why you left. I've been in therapy. Working through why I did what I did. That's good, I said. I hope it helps. It's helping me understand that I was looking for external validation because I didn't value myself. That I sabotaged something good because I didn't think I deserved it. I nodded. Classic therapy insights. True, probably. But it didn't change anything. I also wanted you to know that I don't blame you for leaving. You deserved better than what I gave you. Okay. Is that all you're going to say? Okay. I shrugged. What do you want me to say? I don't know. Something. Anything. You're so cold now. So distant. It's like I'm talking to a stranger. Maybe you are, I said. Maybe the person you were with doesn't exist anymore. Her eyes filled with tears. I killed him. Didn't I? The person you were with. I killed him with what I did. I thought about that. No, I said finally. You didn't kill him. You just showed me that he was willing to settle for being comfortable, for being taken for granted. And I'm not willing to be that person anymore. So what? You're just going to be alone? Cold. Shut off from everyone. No. I'm going to find someone who chooses me every day, who doesn't need excitement from someone else, who sees me as more than comfortable. She flinched. I see you as more than that. I always did. Your actions said otherwise. We sat in silence for a moment. I should go, I said. Wait. Can I ask you one more thing? What? Did you ever really love me? Or were you just comfortable too? I stood up, put on my jacket, looked at her one last time. I loved you completely. That's why this hurts. That's why I had to leave. Because staying would have meant accepting less than I deserved. And I finally realized that I deserved more. I walked out. 3 months later, I ran into her at the grocery store. She was with someone. A guy I didn't recognize. Not Chris, someone else. They were laughing about something, his arm around her shoulders. She saw me. Our eyes met across the produce section. She looked guilty, almost scared, like she'd been caught doing something wrong. I nodded at her. A simple acknowledgement. Then I went back to picking out apples. She stood there for a moment. Then her new boyfriend said something, and they moved on. I felt nothing. No anger. No jealousy. No sadness. Nothing. And that's when I knew I'd actually moved on. 6 months after her confession, I met someone. Not on purpose. Just happened. A woman named Victoria who worked in the building next to mine. We got coffee. Then dinner. Then more dinners. She was different. Direct. Honest. When she liked me, she said so. When she didn't like something, she said that too. No games. No hidden agendas. Just straightforward communication. I should tell you something, I said on our 5th date. Okay. I got out of a long-term relationship 6 months ago. She cheated on me. I'm probably still working through some trust issues. Victoria took a sip of her wine. Thanks for telling me. That sucks what she did. Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't cheat. If I'm not happy, I'll tell you. If I want to see other people, I'll tell you. If I want to end things, I'll tell you. I believe in using my words like a grown-up. I smiled. I like that. Good. Because I like you. And I'd like to keep seeing where this goes. But I need to know you're not just rebounding or using me to get over someone else. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I'm not, I said. I was angry for a while. Hurt. But I'm not anymore. I'm just ready to move forward with someone who wants the same things I do. And what do you want? Honesty. Loyalty. Someone who chooses me every day, not just when it's convenient. She smiled. I can do that. A year after the confession, I got a wedding invitation. Her and the guy from the grocery store. I didn't go, but I didn't throw the invitation away either. I put it in a drawer. A reminder of a life I'd left behind. A choice I'd made. The right choice. 2 years later, Nathan asked me about it. About her. About the way I'd handled it. Do you regret leaving? He asked. We were at a bar, watching a game. No. Never. Not once. That's cold, man. I shrugged. Is it? Or is it just knowing my worth? Probably both. 3 years later, Victoria and I got engaged. Simple proposal, nothing fancy. Just the two of us on a beach at sunset. I choose you, she said when I asked. Every day? Not because you're comfortable. Because you're extraordinary. And that was everything. I never spoke to my ex again after that coffee shop meeting. Never responded to the occasional messages that came through. Happy birthday texts. Thinking of you emails. All went unanswered. Some people thought I was cruel. That I should have given her another chance. That everyone deserves forgiveness. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should have been more forgiving. More understanding. More willing to work through it. But here's what I learned. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Understanding why someone hurt you doesn't obligate you to let them do it again. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away. She made her choices for 5 months. Every lie, every betrayal, every time she chose excitement over commitment. Those were all choices. And I made mine. To leave. To rebuild. To find someone who sees me as more than comfortable. People always want the big dramatic confrontation, the yelling and screaming and throwing things. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent. Let them finish their confession. Let them feel the weight of their choices. Then simply choose yourself. That's what I did. And 3 years later, I'm happier than I've ever been. With someone who chooses me every single day. Someone who doesn't need to look elsewhere for excitement. Because what we have is exciting enough. My ex probably thought my silence was temporary. That I'd explode eventually. That we'd have the big fight and then work through it. But I never exploded. I just left. And that silence turned out to be the loudest thing I ever said. It said, I value myself. It said, I deserve better. It said, I'm done. The consequences she was unprepared for weren't some elaborate revenge. They weren't me telling everyone what she did. They weren't me trying to hurt her back. The consequences were simply my absence. The loss of someone who had loved her completely. Who had been loyal. Who had built a life with her. And you know what? That was enough. More than enough. Because the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's building a better life without them. And that's exactly what I did.